You're watching CarTell.tv and I'm Jenny. Make sure to subscribe if you aren't already and check out our sponsors, Ausloans. They source you the best deal on finance from over 40 different lending institutions. It's quick, easy and obligation-free. Their link is in the description. Now, let's get into the review. For those of you not familiar with the Navara lineup, the top dog will be called the Warrior. It's aimed to take on the likes of the Ranger Raptor, although that's a tall order, but it's definitely moving in that direction. However, that model will likely be too pricey for many to justify. I mean, it's capable and stacked with parts. It is the ultimate sports version of a ute, but most people just won't need it for their day-to-day. Also, the regular Navara might be attractive enough, but it does lack some cool features and off-roadability. Then there's this one. It's the Nissan Navara PRO-4X and it serves as a top dog in off-roadability before the new Warrior arrives. It's not cheap, sitting at around $60,000, depending on the version, but there seems to be enough space for one of these on the market. Now speaking of which, it has some tough competition among long-established utes in Australia, so it's going to have to work really hard to justify that price tag. Let's see if it does. The first thing you'll notice is when it comes to the difference between the Pro-4X and the lower offers in the lineup is that this one has less chrome. Now chrome usually adds to the style and perceived image, and for a more hardcore off-roader, this blacked out surround actually looks more befitting. And can I just say, I totally love it. LED headlights and DRLs complete the picture up front and make this a simple yet far more rugged looking setup. The 18-inch black wheels are surrounded by Yokohama all-terrain tyres. 18-inch might not seem large enough for the current top model, but do bear in mind that this is a proper off-road ute, so this is actually a good size. The blacked out theme continues on the side as well. From roof rails to mirror caps, door handles, wheel arch cladding, and all the way to the side steps. Expectedly, the load bed is on par with the class. The largest width is 1,560mm, 1,134mm between the wheels, and the length is 1,469. All this space can be filled with up to 1,004 kilograms of payload. The engine in the Pro-4X is a 2.3-litre twin-turbo diesel. It produces 140 kilowatts and 450 newton-meters of torque from 1,500 revs to 2,500. The power is sent through a 7-speed auto. On the road, the engine is nice and relaxed. Response and acceleration are sufficient for all practical purposes, but there is not really much aggressiveness, and that's okay. The gearbox responds pretty quickly, and I haven't experienced it hunting for gears, which is good. Having in mind the torque curve that starts dropping at around 2,500 revs, brake towing capacity is at 3,500 and unbraked at 750. There really isn't a lot to say about this setup. It's kind of like the perfect middle ground. Now the highest compliment I can give it is that it's sufficient, and the worst complaint would be that it's not sporty. And driving modes include different setups, called Standard, Sport, Tow and Off-Road, and they are pretty self-explanatory. What I have to praise is the new ride setup. It has leaf springs, which is good for a ute. But the comfort is not as compromised as it was before. In fact, it's pretty good, but it still trails behind the benchmark in this segment, which is the Ranger. You get 220mm of ground clearance, 600mm wading depth, 32-degree approach angle, and a 19.8-degree departure angle. Now there's low range, rear diff lock, and hill descent control for some off-road prowess. Also, the 360-degree camera is pretty informative. The part on the right has dynamic guidelines which move with the wheels and give you a good idea of where you're going. Not much has changed on the inside. I mean, there are some upgrades, but overall it's pretty similar. The steering wheel is a bit sporty. I actually really like it. The rest of the dashboard is less innovative, with a wide central section with all the controls and not much else around it. My least favourite part is the left passenger section. What's going on there? I want to point out that the sitting position for the driver, even all the way up, is pretty low to the ground, so the knee angle is quite raised, especially for taller people. I mean, normally we get that in the back, but not so much in the front. The material on top of the dashboard is pretty hard, but it's not the same as the ones in the small city entry-level cars. It's sturdy and durable, which is great for a workhorse. So sturdy is good, but many of the higher grade competitors have better materials on the dashboard, and I feel the Navara is a bit behind when it comes to this. The practical side of me loves these physical buttons and knobs for the infotainment system and the climate control. The diagonal is 8 inches, so not particularly huge, and it comes with sat-nav, DAB radio, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. The front has a 12V socket, one USB port, another one in the central console bin, along with a USB-C port and another 12V socket there. Of course, you get all the standard storage spaces, cups and bottle holders, a somewhat small armrest bin, and a glove box. What sadly is disappearing from use nowadays is that additional tray on top of the dash, which is great for storage. Although I don't miss that button on the Isuzu. The space in the back is okay. It's not particularly ample, but good enough for adults both for legs and headroom. Knee angle is a bit narrow though. Air vents are standard and one USB port in the back, and the armrest hosts 2 more cup holders. Now there's no electric adjustable seats, no heated seats either, no reach adjustment for the steering wheel, and no sunroof. Now this is particularly odd because the trim under this one actually has them available as options. Some of the standard safety features include cruise control, remote keyless entry, push button start, high beam assist, rain sensors, 7 airbags, rear view camera, forward collision warning, reverse parking sensors, intelligent emergency braking, intelligent driver alert, lane departure warning, blind spot warning, intelligent blind spot and lane keep intervention, rear cross traffic alert, brake assist, hill start assist, hill descent control, a round view monitor, ABS and EBD, traction control, trailer sway control, active brake limited slip, and more. So what's the verdict? The Navara Pro-4X is a competent ute. It looks different, definitely better than the standard one, and it drives well. However, it misses out on some of the common features in other higher trim utes, and even in the Navara in the lower trim. And that's just odd. The driveaway price for this Navara Pro-4X in auto is $63,790, and it can be yours for $225 a week. However, for that price tag, I feel like the target audience are probably people who already like Navara. The Pro-4X updates make the ute they love even more appealing, and that is great. But with a $60K price tag, I think it's a shame it missed out on those few additional features and a plusher feeling interior. There are simply too many competitors out there. While this is a welcome addition to the lineup, I have to say that the Warrior is really going to be the standout, and I'm looking forward to testing that one. Thanks again for watching CarTell TV. Now head on over to our socials for heaps of fun giveaways and other cool stuff, and we'll see you next time. Peace.